Hey everyone, Josh from Compute for Humans here, and I'm just going to show you what's on my Homelab. So this is my main server. This is the server that I started with in like 2022, and it's been through a lot. I accidentally had an application basically ruin everything that was on my Homelab, so I had to back up some stuff that I could and then reinstall everything. So I'm going to go through the apps that I use from least to greatest, the amount of times I use them, and just sort of tell you about them and why I have them. So first one, Plunk. Plunk is a sort of open source alternative to something like MailChimp. So whenever I'm in the space where I'm emailing people and the newsletter is all set up, this is what I'll be using. You can do a bunch of stuff with it. I wanted to put it on my server just to test it out first before deploying it to a production VPS. But yeah, it's a newsletter thing. I haven't really used it at all. I just put it on here. That's it. Planka. So Planka is basically Trello for free, and I love it. And this was one of the casualties. And basically what happened, this was one of the casualties when I had something take up too much space on my hard drive and had to wipe everything and restart. But it's basically just Trello for free. It's awesome. Since I've migrated, I haven't really used it a bunch, but it's here. Crafty 4. So I wanted to do a Minecraft server. You can obviously just like download the jar and host it, but it was cool to see that people were building stuff that allowed you to scale Minecraft servers if that's something that you wanted to get into. And it's open source. They moved from GitHub to GitLab, and yeah, you just put it on your computer. It like takes up all the ports on my server, like a lot of ports, not all the ports, but like a lot of ports. So if you do end up hosting this, make sure that you are potentially just using your VPS or your server for just Crafty. 20. So 20 is a CRM. It's open source, and it's comparable to something like I don't know, like maybe Salesforce, or a spreadsheet basically. But it allows you to basically, if you are building a lead list or you have clients, you're a small business and you want to reach out to people or keep track of people and company movement, you do it in this thing. I haven't used it yet. I intend on doing consulting at some point, and I really wanted to have something to store contacts and companies and stuff like that. So yeah, this is a professional CRM that's open source. Next is Monica. So Monica is a CRM, but it's personal. So basically you just saw with 20, but now instead of professional contacts, it's a personal contacts. This one's very useful. You can have emails to remind you when someone has a birthday, or you can write notes to attribute gifts or think that they like. It's really, really helpful for keeping up with people. It's very first world problems, but it's really cool and it's really helpful. The next thing is the signal-cli-rest-api. I use Signal extensively, and I am a big believer of Signal and having end-to-end encrypted mobile communication. But it isn't the friendliest for API. I'm pretty sure Signal's open source, but they don't just have something ready to go. So this package sort of takes care of that, where it dockerizes a jar from another project to allow you to basically build a Signal API with your phone number. So you can do cool things like bots, or actually just that's basically it, bots. It just makes that a lot easier. The next thing is Compute for Humans Ghost instance. So Ghost is a open source alternative to WordPress. I think is one of the bigger competitors, and even Substack, where you can natively host your newsletter here. But this is what I use to put blog posts on my website, computeforhumans.com. Feel free to check it out. But yeah, I write articles in this, And then I have a server that's hosting a Astro instance that basically builds the blog based on what's in here. So it's a really cheap way to host a website that is technically not static, where you have a static component in the cloud using Vercel or something like that. And then you have the server hosted from home on a really cheap VPS publicly. It's really complicated, but it's how you can get a website down to basically just a really small VPS in the cloud and domain costs instead of paying like a bunch of money for a platform if you're doing this at scale. So yeah. And then lastly is literally one of my favorite applications of all time, N8N. If you are someone like me, a lazy developer, or someone who's trying to create a small business, or even someone who's trying to keep track of a bunch of things. I used to use N8N a lot with Notion for a lot of things I was tracking. This is literally one of the best tools I have ever used ever, and I will sing its praises forever. Essentially, it is a low-code automation tool which allows you to cobble together a bunch of APIs very quickly and very easily. So I wouldn't recommend this at scale. Like if you are a startup that's becoming bigger, I wouldn't recommend using it. But if you're just like some one person, you're a small business, I do recommend this because it allows you to take a bunch of different APIs. Like, let's see what's in here. We can do YouTube, we can do Gmail, we can do MailChimp. You can do a bunch of different APIs, and then you can cobble them together. So if you have an idea for something, like let's say every time you get a comment on YouTube, you can do a webhook, and then you can do a lot with N8N. It is absolutely fantastic. And this is the application. This is my killer app for a self-hosted server. So if you are like, I want to build a business, and I have a bunch of applications I think I'm going to be using, this is like a perfect fit. If you're a lazy developer, you can quickly build out backends. It's just great. I love this. I love N8N so much. So yeah, that is what is on my Homelab. For my main server, I also have a media server, which is actually fairly complex for what it does. And I have a Home Assistant server. I think those are the only other servers I have. And then I have my NASs, of course. So yeah, thank you for watching.